today we are going to discuss about somewhat IELTS speaking exam, and especially kind of knowledge that you can gain from the session regarding IELTS speaking test, as well as we are going to conduct one live mock test as well. If they have someone would like to take your chance here, maybe some other members will join, but it's doubtful as this is morning hours in a working day. Let's see if someone will join, because some other members already requested that they would like to get the recording of the session as they are busy right now. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. This is not a lengthy session. This will be really short one that I need to give you some idea about what will be the course and what kind of things will be there in the course and what you can expect from this one. So this kind of information will be shared within the session, and you can ask any questions from me as well. So let's start the session and let's see what kind of things are there in ahead in this session. Okay. And the first requirement, actually, first thing to discuss, as this is IELTS speaking aid and we are teaching here IELTS speaking, do we really need to participate into classes for IELTS speaking? I'm not talking about this particular class, our one, I'm talking about any classes. So is it really required? How about other components? Do we really require for go to classes for all these four components, or specifically for speaking, or maybe reading and writing? What's the requirement? So that's what the first thing to break it down to have some clear understanding why you are here right now, why you are waiting for to know about this course, and why you are waiting for to join with the course. So let's see that's information before going forward. If they have someone that required for me to speak in Sinhala, let me know, put one message in the chat box, then I will explain in Sinhala. But usually we are conducting classes in English, as this is obviously IELTS class, so you just need to be in English environment. That's why I'm usually discussing in English, but you can simply put one message, as this is the introduction session. I can explain in Sinhala as well. Okay. Okay, more members are joining. Let's see. This chat box actually always open for you. I will put one hi here. Then you can ask any question from this chat box, and you even can unmute your microphone and ask any question related to the institute, regarding myself, regarding the way we are conducting classes, or even about IELTS speaking exam itself. You can ask anything, as they have computer based exam now. It might be a little bit weird for some of you, as we used to go with IELTS paper based exam mostly in Sri Lanka earlier, but unfortunately after January, now we have to go with computer based exam. That's also something to think about and get to know about. Let's see what's in this slide. Do we really require to participate into courses for IELTS speaking? They have one thing to understand like this. These are the four components: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So what's the specifically difference about speaking when comparing with other three components? Oh, why we really required for go to one class for speaking specifically? These are the reasons. Actually, they have multiple reasons, not only one. The main thing here, these three components, listening, reading, writing, we are saying non-interactive. Or if I'm explaining properly, we are not discussing with someone, or nobody will ask questions from us. We are just writing down questions. In computer base, we are just typing down questions or dragging words or fill in blanks likewise. So those things not required to interact with any other human. And especially listening and reading, those components not required to have any human evaluation as well. For writing, they have human evaluation, task 1 and task 2, that's there. But for listening and reading, you just need to perform well. You just need to give proper answers for each of the questions, and you will deserve whatever the band score according to your correct answers, number of correct answers. For this one, actually, you just need to practice continuously. Practice with your computer. They have a lot of free website out there just to practice for these three components: listening, reading, writing. There, because now it's very good actually. Earlier, as there was paper-based exam, all of you wanted to go with paper-based exam, you had to actually participate into classes for these three components as well, because those based on papers you can actually ask from a teacher, you can get rectification, especially for writing. But now it's changed. They have a lot of free websites out there that you can pre-practice, you can get evaluated, and you can get your band score, you can get some recommendation for improvement. So these three sections, now it's really easy for you to do self studies. I'm not saying if you are in beginner level it will be easy, but with some practice, with some time consuming, this will be something that you can do with self studies. But speaking exam, it remains same, just like in paper based exam, they don't have any difference. That's the difference here. Here it's interactive, or maybe we have to interact with one another. Examiner, examiners will ask questions verbally. As speaking exam interactive, we just need to be familiar with the structure. As example, assuming you are going to do self studies for speaking, it's fine. You can be familiar with the type of questions. You can maybe refer Maka guest book, some past papers. You can practice yourself. Maybe you can practice with a friend of you. But do you really know that your current band score, or do you really know where you are now? When you are facing the exam, assuming you are facing the exam today itself with one real examiner, then do you really know what kind of band score you will get today? It's not easy to understand by ourselves, just like in other three components, because those evaluations of speaking test based on humans or maybe examiners, they have marking criteria. So as example, if you are getting one band score for same specific answers you given by two or three examiners, there may even have slight differences of your band score. One examiner may give you 6.5, one examiner may give 7. The reason behind, actually, in between the 6.5 and 7, they have decimals, so examiners will give your marks with some decimal. So once after rounding up those decimals into either 6.5 or 7, it's actually being vary. So we cannot exactly get some clear idea what will be our speaking band score. Maybe if you are good enough, if you are fluent enough, you may have some idea. That's why we just need to participate into this kind of classes for get proper evaluation, have some idea about our current level, and consistent practice. Now, they have some other reasons as well why you really require to go with speaking classes, as well as the kind of practical problems you are facing when it's coming to IELTS speaking. Let me show you. These are the problems. First thing, actually, in Sri Lanka, especially, we are not talking English in our daily basis life. Obviously, in our homes, we are not talking English. Most of the families, we are not talking English unless if you have some kids that who go into international schools that usually talk in English, then you may be familiar with that kind of environment. But otherwise, usually in Sri Lanka, we are not talking English. Even in our workplaces, we are not told. But if you are in private sector, somewhat you may speak in English, especially in government sector, teachers, nurses, or even in other government offices, we are not using English. That's the most common problem in Sri Lanka. In public places, we can't speak in English. Others may laugh at us. They may say, "Oh my God, you are trying to show off." Likewise, so that's one reason in Sri Lanka we are struggling to speak. That's why you need to specifically practice, specifically be prepared for IELTS speaking exam. Next one, lack of understanding the test requirements. This is also one problem that Sri Lankan students are facing. If I'm asking some questions from you, as this is the introduction session, I'm not going to ask some questions. If I will ask some questions from you, what are the test requirements of speaking exam? How these examiners will evaluate your answers? What are the criterias? How exactly you will get your marks? You may generally tell, examiners will evaluate my fluency, examiners will evaluate whether I have some grammar mistakes or no, examiners will evaluate whether I give proper answers. Likewise, you may say, but exactly test requirements are not that kind of simple thing. You just need to understand, and that's the actually backbone of speaking exam, to understand the test requirement, understanding what examiners are expecting from you. That's why we are giving continuous mock test in the class. This mock test will make you familiar with the exam structure and continuously get the idea about what examiners are expecting from you, and you will be familiar with the environment of exam. That's the requirement. Next one, limited vocabulary. Obviously, as we are not speaking English daily basis, we don't have good enough of vocabularies to cover all the questions properly. But when it's coming to IELTS exam, they have one thing to understand. We don't need to learn or know all of the vocabularies in English language. We just need some vocabularies that required for speaking or give answers IELTS is speaking type of questions. They have some patterns, they have some specific type of questions that usually examiners are asking from us, especially as example in part 1, they have a lot of transportation related questions, they have hometown related questions, our job related questions. Likewise, they have common type of questions. So if you can identify these patterns properly, you just need to know some vocabularies that you usually have to talk in IELTS exam. That's why in our class, we are just covering all of the current ongoing questions. Then you will get that idea. You will get to know these patterns. You will get to know current questions that in the exam. And obviously, you can improve your vocabulary with our guidance. That's there. Next one, poor grammar skills. Obviously, this is also interact or maybe link with that first idea. As we are not speak properly, we have some grammar problem. But usually in Sri Lanka, I have seen all of you, most of Sri Lankan students actually not have grammar mistakes whenever writing, because since our childhood, yes, learning English in terms of writing. In our schools also, they taught us to how to write properly in grammar. We know, but while it's speaking, we cannot use that same grammar. It's not obviously coming out from our mouth because lack of practice. And as common grammar mistakes in Sri Lanka, I have seen a lot of students are messing with tenses. That's the most common one in Sri Lanka that I have seen from IELTS students. Instead of past tense, speaking in present tense. It's not happening with conscious. It's happen automatically while speaking. So these kind of habitual mistakes also there. In our class, as we are going to practice continuously, we will actually overcome these grammar mistakes drastically. It gradually will increase actually by first day to the end. Inability to think on the spot. This is also one problem. When an examiner asking one question, assuming you are writing tasks or you are reading tasks, you just need to look at the question. You have some enough time because they are not specifically waiting for you to give one particular answer. They are giving you maybe 40 minutes, maybe 1 hour just to fulfill all of the questions, give answers for all of the questions. So you can divide your time to think about all the questions. They will not interact with you or they will not stop you to think. You can freely think in writing tasks and reading tasks, even listening tasks. Listening tasks somewhat different in his computer base, but in here in his speaking, you don't have that kind of time to think. Obviously, whenever examiner asking one question, on the spot you have to give an answer. Maybe few seconds you can consume just to think the idea, but that seconds might not be good enough for you because lack of practice. So in our class we will practice continuously. We will get to know what kind of questions will be there, and they have a lot of tools that you can use for generating high level of answers. I will show you later on in this slide. They have some tools. Next one, nervousness during the speaking test. This is also one common thing that may happen because they may have various type of examiners. Maybe Sri Lankan examiner or foreign examiner, native speaker, maybe matured one, just like old one, or maybe examiner that who speak very fluently in native way that we really can't understand sometimes. And whichever it is, those reasons might be something that you may feel nervous in the exam itself. That's why in our class we will continuously practice and we will be familiar with the environment. So whenever you are doing self studies, none of these things you can be fulfilled. Actually, you just need to go with some class or specific guidance just to overcome these problems. That's why we need to go with one classes for especially IELTS speaking. But if you are going with some class that covering all four sections in individually, but the problem is they are saying they are covering all four sections, but ask from someone else if you already have get some experience like that, they are just covering writing, reading, listening, but not the speaking. Because in classes that have a lot of students, they cannot cover speaking because they don't have enough time for giving individual mock test, individual practices, or individual even guidance. But in our this class, this is one specific group class with limited students that have seven number of students as the maximum number, and two already have joined. They have 5 seats available. Then this is specifically for you, specifically for individual attention. Now actually thing is, earlier I can't blame. Earlier in our classes, I mean classes in Sri Lanka, they taught very well about writing, reading, listening because of paper based. But now you have to actually practice with computer. They don't have anything to do in classes for these 3 sections. You just need to practice again and again, especially for listening one, because listening one is the changeable one when you are shifting from paper based to computer based. They have some changes. You have to give answers on the spot while you are listening to the audio clip, but reading, writing, quite same. You just need to type, but the practice is required, self practice. Speaking, as I mentioned, quite different. Okay, now let's see what else have in the slide. Okay, these kind of problems may have with you. Okay, these are really common problems. I have show actually this one earlier as well. You may be new to the class, so let's see. I can't understand some questions. This is one common problem if I am beginner level of English. Second one, I can understand the questions, but it's hard to gather an idea for an answer. This is actually somewhat advanced than the first one. You can understand the question, but it's hard to get the idea. This is about lack of practice actually. You are quite okay with English. I mean, writing, reading, listening. You're okay with grammar. You can understand questions, but you are lacking on the speaking part. That's why this second problem appear. Instantly, you cannot get the ideas. And third thing, actually, one more reason for this one, you are not familiar with the IELTS exam question types. So if you are not familiar, then that also one reason for hard to get the ideas. Third one, I have ideas, but it's hard to explain them in English. This is actually somewhat advanced than the second one. Now you have ideas, but when you are trying to speak, it's really hard to speak. You don't have good enough vocabularies, you don't know how to explain, you don't know how to use grammar properly. So it's obviously based on your lack of practice. To overcome these three problems, you can actually practice continuously. They have for some other reasons as well. Sometimes I'm stuck due to a lack of vocabulary issue. If I'm asking, do you have this problem, some of you may say, ah, I have this, I have this, I have this one. Likewise, this vocabulary issue actually happen, as I mentioned earlier, due to lack of idea, lack of practice. We are not using English, obviously we don't need to use vocabulary. So for IELTS exam, we just need to practice little further with proper vocabularies that required for give answers. I make a lot of grammar mistakes. I explained earlier, not required to explain again. I have pronunciation issues. This is also one problem. When we are lack of practice in, when we are not speak continuously, sometimes we are doing some pronunciation issues. We are trying to speak properly, but without our conscious, we are mispronouncing words. This is obviously reducing your marks under fourth marking criteria, pronunciation. Next one, I'm not confident enough to speak in English. I actually explained the same thing earlier due to nervous. So you just need to build your confidence. To build confidence, actually group classes are really ideal place because you are listening to others, others are speaking and you are speaking in front of them. So this is like one group practice. Then you can build your confidence even with my guidance. I'm demotivated because I failed the IELTS before. This is actually somewhat specific thing now. You may face the exam earlier in paper based. Now you have to go with computer based. That is also one thing that you may feel demotivated. Don't be like that because they have a lot of advantages than paper based in computer based exam. If I'm give pinpoint some small things, some advantages, you can get your band score within 3 to 5 days. Not you don't need to wait for 13 days for that one, and you just need to consume only 1 day for all the sections. You don't need to wait for 2 separate days for a speaking test, and you can actually on the spot give answers by typing. You don't need to worry about your handwriting. And even if you fail to succeed in one or two components, you can just repeat the particular component. You don't need to take the whole exam again. So that's also one kind of benefits you are getting. Likewise, they have a lot of benefits in computer based exam instead of at disadvantages. So be confident enough and be prepared for the exam. I don't have time to practice for the IELTS. So this is also one problem. You may feel that this class also about to conduct in daytime. So usually I don't have enough time. I'll show you. This is not obviously like that. You can practice actually. You can participate when possible. I'll show you the timetable as well. Then you will get some idea. I don't have anyone to speak with English to practice. This is one common problem in Sri Lanka, as I mentioned earlier. But with this group class, these kind of classes, you can actually participate. You can interact with others. You can practice. So apart from the class itself, you can practice with the members who will join to the class, because they have almost like 7 number of members. Then you can practice with them as well. I will arrange that one as well, because this daily basis discussions, general practice also important for you to enhancing your fluency, not only just IELTS type of questions. Okay, I think of answers in Sinhala. This is also one problem. If there will have one students like that in the class, then only I will explain some ideas, explain some uh, guidance as well as answers that you can overcome this situation. But unless if they will not have someone, I will skip this one, because this is really basic. But if you have this problem, this is the most I can say warning that I can give, because this is the problem that reducing marks under all of the marking criteria if you are thinking Sinhala. So treat on this one. These are kind of common problem I have seen from Sri Lankan students. If you have these problems, it's ideal for you to join the class and get some answers. Be prepared. Now, I will explain about the course little bit. This is called IELTS Speaking Net Fast Track course. We have a lot of various type of courses, even pre-session as well. There may have some members from the pre-session also today now. Every evening I'll conduct one pre-session just for cue cards nowadays. And apart from that, when we are considering about paid classes, they have group class, this night class, 1 month course, and it's conducting 3 days per week. And they have individual classes that you can pick whenever you like to take. And they have these fast track courses. They have one evening fast track course, and this is the morning one. Evening one ongoing, so we cannot join with that one now. This is the new one that we are about to start. So in this fast track course, actually, we are focusing on students who will plan to face the exam in March and April. This is the end of February, so we don't have enough time in February, March and April. And because if you have very limited time for get to know or maybe be prepared with the exam, this is the ideal pace, because we are conducting classes daily basis. You can understand, literally daily basis means you will actually practice daily basis, today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, likewise. So this continuous practice will drastically improve your speaking level, as well as you will be prepared for the exam. Also, as we are about to evaluate your band score daily basis, you will actually have some track record. Today you have got 5.5, then tomorrow you will get around 6, day after tomorrow 6.5, then after 7, likewise. It's not obviously happening in day by day like that, but you can actually track your record like that. So it also something important to know that where you are at the moment you will face the exam. Assuming today you are getting your band score as band score 6.5, then tomorrow you will face the exam. Now you have some idea, now I am in 6.5, so in the exam I require to get 6.5, then I have to perform the same way. Likewise, you can have a really good idea about your current level and the exam requirements. Continuous mock test practice. This is one thing. The first thing, as I mentioned, mock tests are the real deal in the IELTS speaking exam. It doesn't matter you will face the exam by self studies or joining with the class. You have to do mock test. Without mock test, if you face the exam or without any prior experience of the exam, you will feels like you are in a place that you don't know anything. Exam will ask questions, you know, structure, part 1, part 2, part 3, you know the structure, but without that practical practice, you'll feels like nervous. So this mock test should be there. Evaluation of each mock test, as I mentioned, every mock test will evaluate separately. I will try to show the kind of evaluation today if we have enough time. Individual study plan based on your level and required band score. This is really important, because assuming all of you will join to the class, so your individual problems will differ from one person to another person. One of you may have grammar mistakes. Obviously, you are doing grammar mistakes, but another student may have issues with vocabulary. He don't have issues with grammar, but he may have lack of vocabulary. Likewise, your problems actually based on your current level. So I have to identify all of your individual problems, and based on that, I will give you a study plan that you have to do as homeworks. Then you can actually overcome your common problems. And at the end of the class, all of you will be in a kind of place that you can face the exam without any fear further. Address practical issues. This is really important one. In IELTS exam, if you refer in YouTube, if you refer some YouTube channels or whichever it is, they are actually teaching, most of them, I'm not every all of them, most of them teaching theories based on this speaking, exam theories based on writing, likewise. But for speaking, they have practical issues that specifically Sri Lankan students are facing. As example, as I mentioned earlier, Sri Lankan students actually having some habitual mistakes. Instead of present tense, they are saying past tense, and whenever they are getting one question, they don't know what to say. Sometimes in front of the examiner, uh, in here, or maybe whenever they are doing self studies, they can practice properly, but in front of the examiner they may feel nervous, and sometimes they have kind of grammar mistakes. Likewise, they have different mistakes, especially common things in Sri Lankan students. And pronoun issue, instead of he they are saying she. This is really common in Sri Lanka, but not common in other countries. Likewise, they have some practical issues individuals are facing in Sri Lanka, so we have addressed those practical issues in our syllabus. IELTS is speaking aid tools to level up. This is something you can get from only from our institute. We have generated some tools based on these practical issues. As example, to give proper answers in part 1, we have generated one tool. Simply you can apply the tool. Tool means this structure, and generate really good answer. Now, don't make some bad picture about this one. I'm not saying we are giving model answers for you to practice. No, not like that. We are giving tools that you can use for literally any question to generate your own ideas. Because in exam, if you're trying to like give memorized answers, model answers, examiner will stop like they will understand that one, then they will not give proper marks, because model answers, memorized answers are not tolerable in the IELTS speaking exam. They are requiring to have natural speech. So that's why instead of model answers in our institute, we are giving tools for part 1, cue cards, and part 3, we are giving separate tools that you can use for generating high level of answers for literally any question. It doesn't matter. So then you don't need to worry about, I don't have any idea, I don't know how to explain. That problem will resolve by these tools that you can only see from our institute that we have generated. You can see that from YouTube, you can see that from another classes. That's why this is something specific. Group practices, as I mentioned, they have a lot of group practices apart from this cue card part 1 mock test. Likewise, apart from that, they will have general practices as well, fluency enhancing sessions. Likewise, these group practices are really important for you to enhance your level as well as your confident, specifically confident. Then you will be confident enough for face in front of the examiner. These kind of things will be there in this fast track course. This is something basics about fast track course. They will have a lot of things apart from this that you can learn from the course. Now, let's see the timetable. So this is the timetable. Today is 21st February and today is Friday, you can see. And I will give you three more days for be prepared with the like registration, because you may require some time for be registered. You have Saturday, you have Sunday and Monday, and they have only 5 seats available. For the class, I am getting only 7 members, as this is required continuous mock test practices. I cannot afford more than 7 members to give this mock test daily basis, because that will consume a lot more time. So with the available time, maximum 7 number of students I can manage for mock test and the evaluation. That's why they have only 5 more seats left, as 2 of them already have joined. So 5 of you have chances for join until uh, early morning of 25th early morning. You can join until that. Then by 25th, I mean Tuesday, we will start the class continuously. You can see we are conducting classes almost every day except Saturday, because I have leave Saturdays for your homeworks. The things we will learn, things we will learn in theory classes, things we will learn with our evaluations of mock test, we have to do some homework, some self studies, some homework, some researches. So those kind of things I will explain what to do. But for those things, I have leave Saturdays for you. Apart from Saturdays, you can see we are conducting classes every other day continuously. This is the important or maybe specific thing about this fast track course. They don't have any free time for you to chill out. You just need to practice continuously, because sometimes whenever you are not practice continuously, you are this motivation also downgrading. So for in this kind of classes, it's they don't have any chance for you to downgrade your motivation. Daily basis you will practice. But if you have like some works to do, if you have some like another work, you will not be participate into classes for certain days, it's fine, because each of day we will provide the recording. But it's ideal if you can join with the class whenever conducting the class, especially for mock test, because you will have to get your chances for mock test. Anyhow, at the beginning of class, which means 25th, I will give you the timetable. This is the timetable, but I will tell you what will be there in each of days. Like 25th, there will have a lecture about this one. 26th, there will have a mock test. 27th, there will have lecture about IELTS speaking part 1. 28th, again mock test. Likewise, I will give you the specific timetable that you will be able to schedule your works. Then you can, maybe if you have some important word, you can avoid like theory sessions, then you can refer back the recording. But for whenever they have mock test, you can arrange your time for participate with the mock test. You even don't need to wait for the evaluation. If you have like busy time schedule, you just need to face the mock test. Evaluation will be there, you can listen. Even for listening, this class will be really important. While you are working, you can just listen. That also important, that you can type some questions if you have, then I can give answers. Likewise, course will continue until 25th March. So this is like really lengthy class, you can continuously practice. So after 25th, you can confidently face the exam, you can book your exam. So this is the timetable. Now, this is about the course itself, the background details that you really require to know about the course. As I mentioned earlier, we will start by 25th February and this will continue till 25th March. And timing and hours, every Sunday to Friday except Saturdays, as I mentioned, 10 a.m., which means morning. So I believe most of you may have enough time. If you will not have time, as I mentioned, you can cover by recordings as well. But this class will be really important for you to be prepared with the exam. Course fee 15,000. You can see they have more. If you are considering the dates we are conducting classes, you can count actually. They have really more days than just 15 days. So we are not even consuming 1,000 for one day. So this might feels like really like pricey or costly, but when you are consider, when you are checking on other classes that conducting like 2 days per week, 3 days per week, they are also getting more than this 25,000, 50,000, 13,000, likewise. So this is really small amount when considering the number of days we will consume, because daily basis we will practice, daily basis we will conduct classes. Registration, the registration form will be shared after payment has been made. Whoever will require to get join with the class, don't wait till the last day, because I forgot to mention one thing. I will go back with the schedule. As two members already have joined, I have planned one free session by Sunday, 23rd, which means day after tomorrow. If you are having some idea to join in the session, try to join by today or tomorrow. Then you can join with this pre-session as well. In this pre-session, actually, we will not like learn any theories. We will do one practical mock test session. Then you will be able to understand your current level even before you start the course. So you can join with this pre-session as well by Sunday. I will let you know the time after you join to the class. That's also there. Okay. So whoever will require to join with the session, just let me know. I will share the payment details to get registered. Now, this is about the course and the background. Let's go with one practical test. Is there anyone who would like to evaluate your current speaking test by participate into one mock test? Then I can do this one, because you have to join volunteer. Any of you? I'll reduce number of questions in part 1 and part 3 just to save time. I just need to show that the way we will conduct classes and the way we will evaluate your speaking level. Anyone? Let me know if they have anyone. You can put one message even. Okay, it seems like no one is there. Maybe some all of you might just listening while you are working. It also might be possible. Then I will do one thing. I will put one recording of no. I have one message. Okay. One member just saying she can join. Okay. Then let's go with one mock test. I thought about like finish the session and incorporate another evaluation which we have done with the recording, but as they have one member just would like to join with one mock test, let's go with her. Okay, I think Sitara. Good morning, Sitara.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, then let's go with one mock test. Actually, mock test means we are just doing the same exam, real exam here. We are simulating the exam. I will ask questions as the examiner. Part 1 questions I will ask verbally as in the real exam. Cue card, I will show you the cue card in the screen, on the screen, sorry. And part 3 again, I will ask questions verbally. So likewise, we will do the mock test here. Um, okay, I can give actually chances for only one here. As Sitara just before said she will join, I'll give chances to her. Then Rashi, let's see in another time, okay? Because they will have like limited time for one evaluation and one mock test. Fine. Then let's go with one mock test. I have to stop sharing the screen for part one. Okay, let me open some part one questions. Okay, Sitara, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's start then. Well, my name is Lakman Madhusankar and I'm going to be examiner for this IELTS mock test. Can you tell me your full name?
My name is Sitara Lakmini. You can call me as Sitara.
Okay, Sitara. Can I see your identification for the verification?
Yes, here it is.
Okay,
You can
fine.
have a look.
Great. Where do you come from?
I'm from Kaduela, which is located in Colombo district, and it is quite getting popular.
Mhm. Okay, let's go with part one. We are going to talk about websites. What kinds of websites are popular in your country?
Honestly, in my country, the online climate is getting popular. More websites are reaching for people. Among those, educational websites, entertainment websites, and some uh, mm, business websites are popular.
Mhm.
For instance, um, uh,
Okay, fine. Are there any changes to the websites you often visit?
uh, yes, of course. Usually, I often visit uh, Facebook, YouTube, and when I need to order something, I definitely go for the Dara's apps.
Mhm.
Then they are day by day modifying and they facilitate the uh, services they are
Mhm.
giving.
Okay. What's your favorite website?
My favorite website is nowadays none other than the educational website, which is called the uh, IELTS related website.
Mhm. Okay, fine. Let's talk about street markets. Are there many street markets in Sri Lanka?
Uh, yes, in my country, the street markets are abundantly can be seen because from the past, street markets were the most popular place to buy and sell things.
Mhm.
So nowadays, also even we can see street markets are more popular among middle class and um uh, most low income level people.
Okay. Do you prefer to go shopping in shopping mall or in the street market?
No doubt that I like to shopping in a shopping mall rather than shopping in a street market or um,
Mhm.
other places.
Okay, fine. That's all in part one. Let's go with the cue card. I will share cue card. Okay. This is the cue card. Describe something you received for free. Then, as in the real exam, I will give you 1 minute of preparation time. Within this preparation time, you can make your notes and you can be prepared. Your 1 minute of preparation time is starting right now. Okay, let's start.
Uh, I have received a lot of things for free, as some as gift and some as rewards, and sometimes uh, those are actually for our happiness. Then I can say about uh, in one incident I got two tickets, actually those for a 3D movie, to watch a 3D movie. Uh, Actually, it was received by my ward members at for an event of uh, Secret Santa event. I got those two tickets as gifts, and uh, at that time, actually, I was elated because I at that time I had mm, I had a lot of interest regarding to watch that movie. Therefore, I think someone has given that two tickets for me. Then I went to see the movie with my one of my colleague in the ward, and we enjoyed a lot uh, uh, while we watching that movie. So I think receiving free things is always enhance our mind and make some joyful event to our life. So actually, I like to offer something free for anyone as a gift, or sometimes to make happy someone else,
Okay, good
because
enough.
I experienced.
Good enough. Let's move with part 3. Okay. What kinds of free services should be provided by the government?
Uh, Currently, government provide health services, sometimes mm, uh, safety and security services for free in my country. So I think some countries can provide even education also can uh, provide free for
Okay.
children.
Okay. Is it necessary to provide free public transportation?
Uh, I don't think so, because public transportation, governments has to bear a lot of cost. So it is uh, reliable when they if they can provide that public transported services for in a convenient prices.
Mhm.
And
Okay, fine. Will people be happy when they receive free things?
definitely, because when people receive something without expending money, definitely they are getting they might happy, because receiving something is like it might have a value, but uh, for when they haven't spent cost for that, definitely it is a joyful thing.
Mhm. Okay, fine. That's all. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you.
Let's play. From.
I'm from Kaduela, which is located in Colombo district, and it is quite getting popular.
Mhm. Okay, let's go with part 1. We are going to talk about websites. asking about the name, asking to show passport, asking like where do you come from. These are we are considering as free questions that did not belong to the exam, and examiners will not obviously give marks for those questions. But for those questions also they have something to learn. We will discuss in the class here or not. Actually, we are starting the exam itself. What kinds of websites are popular in your country?
Honestly, in my country, the online climate is getting popular. More websites are reaching for people. Among those,
Reaching to people, okay.
educational websites, entertainment websites, and some uh, business websites are popular.
Mhm.
For instance, um, uh,
Okay, fine. He's struggling, but as a structure, really good answer. She actually tried to show the main areas of type of websites. At the end, she tried to give some example as well. She couldn't able to do, but that's kind of good structure. If I'm giving some model idea by based on her answer, maybe you can say something like, well, in our country specifically, they have certain type of websites, especially entertainment related website might be the most popular one among Sri Lankans. Apart from that, they have educational website that kids are usually referring, and they have healthcare website that people tend to have channelings on the doctors or maybe getting any information regarding their healthcare. Apart from that, YouTube, likewise social media, Facebook, likewise social media websites also really popular. If I'm giving some instant example, educational websites like um, I don't remember actually any website, so you can give any answer. Educational websites, maybe IELTS regarding. You can say something like educational websites like IDP websites, British Council websites. Likewise, apart from that, social media like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Likewise, the social media website might be the most popular one. So it's actually very based on people's preferences, something like that. So in part one, that much of lengthy answer not required, but you can try. Some examiners are letting you to give proper answers like this. Some examiners are not giving that much of time. It actually based on the examiners. We can try. It doesn't matter that examiner stop you in between. Anyhow, good effort. Are there any changes to the websites you often visit?
uh, yes, of course. Usually, I often visit uh, Facebook, YouTube, and when I need to order something, I definitely go for the Dara's apps.
Mhm.
Then they are day by day modifying, and they facilitate the uh, services they are
Mhm.
giving.
Okay, good answer. Instead of facilitating, if you say something like adding more options that their users can be adhering or users can use. Likewise, it's more clear, but facilitating also fine. As one good answer, I can say really good one. What's your favorite website?
My favorite website is nowadays none other than the educational website, which is called the uh, IELTS related website.
Mhm. Okay, fine. I think you forget the name. In that kind of situation, you eagerly wanted to explain about this IELTS related website, assuming you don't remember the name. So simply you can tell that to the examiner, even though that's the favorite one. Simply you can say something like, well, nowadays my favorite website is something related to IELTS preparation. I honestly don't remember the name of website, but I'm using that daily basis. They have a lot of good content regarding practicing on IELTS, speaking, reading, writing, even listening. It's really important for me to consistent practice, and literally I'm using that daily basis. I think I will use that until end of my IELTS exam itself. Something like that. Anyhow, good effort. Let's talk about street markets. Are there many street markets in Sri Lanka?
Uh, yes, in my country, the street markets are abundantly can be seen because from the past, street markets were the most popular place to buy and sell things.
Mhm.
So nowadays, also even we can see street markets are more popular among middle class and um uh, most
Some fillers are appearing like that called fillers, but idea-wise, really good answer.
uh, low income level people.
Okay, these fillers are actually happening when now you are lacking practice. If you are practicing regularly, these fillers you can easily rid of by gaining your fluency. They don't have any other method to overcome these fillers. Do you prefer to go shopping in shopping mall or in the street market? This question actually somewhat important or maybe specific. In these kind of questions, you require to do some comparisons. Assuming you are saying you prefer to go shopping malls instead of a street market, so you have to give some pros and cons why you are not going to street market, some reasons for that one. Likewise, these are kind of specific questions.
No doubt that I like to shopping in a shopping mall rather than shopping in a street market or
Mhm.
other places.
Okay. Okay. So that answer I cannot take as one good answer or maybe complete answer. You are just saying your preference, but you are not giving any reason for that one. So answers always should be based on like reasons, fact and figures. It should be completed and at least some conclusion. Maybe you can say something like, obviously, I prefer shopping malls rather than street markets for my daily needs, because in shopping malls we can literally identify or literally find anything we need. We don't need to go shop by shop find out our requirements. Also, they have really good customer service that they are always trying to help out for find out our most required things. Apart from that, we they have a lot of payment methods that I even can use my online banking, but in street markets those options are actually very limited. Something like that. They have a lot more reasons, but by saying those reasons, you are verifying that you are going to supermarkets, I mean shopping malls, due to these reasons. It's really complete answer. Likewise. Fine. That's all in part one. Let's go with the cue card. I will share cue card. Okay. This is the cue card. Describe something you received for free. Then, as in the real exam, I will give you 1 minute of preparation time. Within this preparation time, you can make your notes and you can be prepared. Okay, in our class, actually, we will specifically prepare for this preparation time, because this preparation time is the most important time for you to be prepared with the cue card itself properly. So we will have specific sessions for you to be familiar with this preparation. Without this preparation, some of you might think that you can literally jump into the exam and give answers for these cue cards, but you have to understand in exam itself they have given us 1 minute of preparation time, because they know that it's really hard for us to explain without preparation for 2 minutes. Some of us might be it's okay, but most of us require that preparation. That's why it's there in the exam structure, so you have to utilize it properly. Fine. Your 1 minute of preparation time is starting right now. Okay, let's start.
Uh, I have received a lot of things for free, as some as gifts and some as rewards, and sometimes uh, those are actually for our happiness.
Little bit of struggling, but good start. This kind of general start always really good to have in your cue card answers. It's always give you a point to enter into your content. We will discuss later on, but good start with some struggle.
Then I can say about uh, in one incident I got two tickets actually, those for those for a 3D movie, to watch a 3D movie movie. Uh, Actually, it was received by my ward members at for an event of uh, Secret Santa event.
So better to say Christmas event instead of Secret Santa, because if I say in Secret Santa, it should be little bit of define well. It might be one word that you are using in your place, but it might not be. It's obviously we can understand, but it's still better to explain.
I got those two tickets as gifts and uh, at that time actually I was elated because I at that time I had mm, I had a lot of interest in
So if you have these kind of unwanted pauses in between throughout your answer without nice flow, you may reduce marks under your fluency, and there have chances for you to reduce marks under coherent as well when now you are struggling with the idea. So and continuous practice is important for this issue.
regarding to watch that movie. Therefore, I think someone has given that two tickets for me. Then I went to see the movie with my one of my colleague in the ward, and we enjoyed a lot uh, uh, while we watching that movie. So I think receiving free things is always enhance our mind and make some joyful event to our life. So actually, I like to offer something free for anyone as a gift, or sometimes to make happy someone else
Okay, good
because
enough.
I
Okay, good effort actually. From starting to the end, kind of good content was there. She never repeated in same idea again. Little bit of struggle, little bit of hesitation for explaining properly with nice flow, but idea wise, really good idea. Let's see part three.
experienced. Uh,
Good enough. Let's move with part three. Okay. What kinds of free services should be provided by the government?
uh, Currently, government provide health services, sometimes mm, uh, safety and security services.
So for this question, actually, if I starting with currently government provided, not like that. The question asking what kind of services should government provide. So it means it doesn't matter what government provide right now. You just need to give some free ideas what kind of services that one government should provide. So maybe something already have in there, maybe something that should implement as per your opinion. This is opinion based question, so not required to start like in our government nowadays they are providing these things. It's little bit of feels off.
For free in my country. So I think some countries can provide even education also can provide free for
Okay.
children.
Okay, so you have to capture the bigger picture in part three. I'm always saying in our classes. As example for this one, just forget about what Sri Lankan government providing. Simply think about what one government should provide to the society or to the people in the country. Simply, you can say something like, "Well, I believe any government should provide and the facilities to their people, just like the security, transportation facility, educational facility, specifically healthcare facility, and apart from that they should have some other facilities like electricity, water, likewise some facilities that people require from the government. As example, in our government they are providing good education, actually free education, and also really good healthcare sectors there in our country. Likewise those things actually happening in our country. Likewise actually you can incorporate what is going on in our country as examples in this answer, but as your original idea you are saying what one government should there, what one government should provide to the society, something like that. Let's play. Okay. Is it necessary to provide free public transportation?
Uh, I don't think so because public transportation public transportation governments has to bear a lot of cost. So it is uh, reliable when they if they can provide the public transportation transported services for in a convenient prices.
Mhm.
And
Okay, so fine. Will people be happy when they receive free things?
definitely because when people receive something without expending money, definitely they are getting, they might happy, because receiving something is like it might have a value, but uh, for when they haven't spent cost for that, definitely it is a joyful thing.
Mhm. Okay, okay, good explanation with some struggle. Okay, fine. That's all. Thank you. That's the end. So that's how mock tests are going on in the class and the evaluation going on. But this is not the end of the evaluation. Um, let's see what I have marked down while I have listening to the idea. In part one, actually, some struggle. Again, some struggle. Some fillers you have used for explaining ideas is still coming under struggling part. For one question, you have given some less idea in part one. In Q card, some struggle, some pauses, but idea wise, really good coherent idea. So coherent is there. In Q card, one less coherent answer that I explained earlier with some model idea, and some struggles for the last two questions. But for last two questions, idea wise, it was fine. So by considering all of these, there were a lot of struggles due to lack of practice, which means while you are speaking, they have some lapses under fluency, though that is there. Apart from that, you have to somewhat consider about exactly what's asking from the question. For some certain questions, you're given slightly off topic answer, but vocabulary wise, it's really okay. You use some natural level of vocabulary. Grammar wise, also, it's fine. You use kind of good grammar that don't have basic grammar mistakes, and pronunciation, it's fine. Somewhat it affecting by your this fluency issue, this is struggling part, but it's fine, it's clear. So if I'm giving you a band score, let me break it down: fluency and coherent, lexical resources, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation. With this level of speaking for fluency and coherent, let me see, struggling, less coherent, by less idea, all of this, by considering all of this, you will end up around 5 to 5.54. Fluency and coherent, I believe most of the examiners will keep it as 5, but some examiners may consider to give 5.5 for this one, because there wasn't any question that you couldn't give any answer, that give off topic answers. But let's keep it in the lower side. But you have chances for get 5.5 with some examiners. Lexical resources, it's fine as I mentioned, which means your vocabulary somewhat okay, somewhat average. Sometimes you time to time use some high level of vocabulary. I have heard from your Q card also. So it will be around 6 to 6.5 your vocabulary level. I believe examiners will keep it as mostly 6. Some examiners may keep it as 6.5, but let's go with the lower side. Grammatical range and accuracy, it's fine as I mentioned. Basically, you didn't like do any basic grammar mistakes. It will be around 6 again. For pronunciation, your pronunciation is fine as I mentioned earlier. It's somewhat affecting, I mean, intonation and all somewhat affecting with your struggling part. So it will be around 6 to 6.5. Let's keep it as 6.5. I think examiners will give it as 6.5 instead of 6. But as I mentioned earlier, these are actually based on the way examiners are thinking, but they don't have any drastical changes. Maybe point 5 of changes might be possible in each components with examiner to examiner. Today I have taken it from the lower side. For fluency and coherent, you have got 5, lexical resources 6, grammatical range and accuracy 6, and pronunciation 6.5. So altogether you are getting band score 5.875, means after rounding up band score 6, but from the lower side. This is how we are evaluating our mock test in our class. Even actually we are breaking down into 4 marking criteria as well, as you seen just before. In any class, even in real exam, you can see what kind of marks you have got for individual marking criteria. You are literally getting your overall band score for your speaking exam. But here you can see now what's the component that you have reduced mostly for this answer. For fluency and coherence, you have reduced marks up to mark 5, but for listening, your vocabulary level, grammatical range, you have got equally 6. For pronunciation, you have got 6.5. Likewise, now you can work on your fluency and coherent part. These answers you given off topic and the struggle you are doing. So you can work on that one. Simply, you can increasing your band score by focusing on that one. That's what we will do in the class individually. We will identify your most common mistakes and we will treat on that one individually. That's how the class will going on in practical days, as well as theories will be there. As I mentioned, we have generated some tools that will help for you to generate answers in part 1, part 2, and part 3. Those tools actually exclusive for paid classes. In pre classes, you will not experience that one. That's how the things will going on. So we will start the class as I mentioned earlier by Tuesday 25th. You can join. They have 3 more days. You can even call me. They have this WhatsApp number and they have our landline number. You can call for by an either option and you can ask for payment details as well. If you are from a group, I will definitely share payment details into groups. If you are just individually join to the session by my individual message, you have to ask for payment details. Then I will share. Before winding up, is there any questions you can ask from me now? Anyone? Fine. Some of you may join by you are working just to listen. It's fine. I will upload this session into YouTube and I will share the link to you. You can refer back regarding the course details and all. Then let's meet by Tuesday with this class. I forgot to mention there have some other class options as well. Our group class, I mean night class will start. I don't actually have any specific day until now. I will plan that one as well as individual classes also there. So you can join with those options as well. But at the moment, we have this fast track course. Then it's really good actually. I have seen all of you waited until the end of the session. Nobody have left. All the members are there. So really thankful for you to be in the session until the end. I hope you have got something from the practical evaluation, especially the way the real exam going on, some idea about that one. So we'll meet in the session. Have a good day and thank you for being in the session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.